Friend Melanie.
Thank you.
About 12 minutes.
Okay, I swallowed a fly right over there.
Wow, an actual fly.
So, or dust, but I didn't care for it.
It's probably good luck in some culture, you know.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, make me sound smart because I am so dumb and tired.
We'll do our best. Do you want to start?
I wanted to get started asking about what was it about this audio project that really interested you in taking part and like really playing the character as well.
I don't even know where to begin with that. A lot, but I'll start with that. I just missed them. I missed her. I missed Wynonna. She's just been such a gift to play. You're never bored when you play her in any format. So I just missed her and them and the love. And then obviously with the show ending when it did, we kind of were wondering if it was over, and then this opportunity came up, and it just seemed so perfect because it would fit into our schedules. Everybody would be able to do it. It was like a no-brainer, and then I would love to do more voice acting. Like, it's just something I haven't done much of, and as a curious person, I just was drawn to what could be accomplished, and I knew that if Audible was behind it, it was going to be great quality. So I just was leapt at the idea. Yeah.
So I'd really like to know what was more challenging than you expected or easier than you expected about translating something that's been a very visual medium for a long time into audio
I think the most challenging was also ended up being the easiest, weirdly, was just not being able to use my crutches, to use like the things to. I keep giving this example, but like I remember a note was we were doing the promo, watch Wynonna, what forget what, but listen to Wynonna, and they're like, great, but now do it like you're on a mission and you're threatening, that's what I did. But the difference is when you're on TV and you have a gun, you're just more threatening. And then when you don't have that, you're kind of naked, and now you just have to act. It's like terrifying. And so that was the biggest challenge. Was I'm not a trained actor, so I've always had to approach it from like just figure it out, like just like my feet are going like this under the water, and for the audio version, I did duck paddling. See, I'm learning. And so it was really difficult, but also weirdly easy because then I would just turn and look at Tim. I worked with Tim on these, and I was like, oh, I know where she is. Having him ground me in the story, then it became easy again.
I'm curious about the character of Doc and your character's relationship to him and where it ended with, I guess, like not just the show but maybe the movie and where you guys are at now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel about how their relationship has progressed and like how that kind of shows up in the Audible story now?
Mm. I love that Doc is a man at a time.
Yeah.
I think that just is inherently full of conflict, and I love your shirt. And I love their relationship is just so it shouldn't work, but their love and they're soulmates. It transcends it, and so their journey has just been so real to me. Like, it's just been so bumpy and messy and tense, and but under it has been just this passionate love. And so bringing that to just sound, I don't think I could have done that if he was in a booth in Montreal and I was in a booth in Toronto. I think we were able to play, and we got to play in the room. Like, we got to look at each other and like just respond. And I seem to remember a airplane bathroom scene that required certain sounds, and and we just were, it was so fun, and we got to discover each other as actors in a new way. And so in that way, it just was the perfect stepping stone in this whole journey of what we've done on camera. And now we're finding who we are together, in our voices. I don't know if that answered your question, but it was really interesting.
Now, you were saying earlier that, you felt like if you're holding a gun, you're, more likely to be. Was there something that you had to do prior to recording? Because you got, we've been led to believe that you guys are sitting there like in your pajamas, recording. Did you have to do anything to kind of get into the character, to find that area you needed to be in?
Honestly, it's a sad answer. I wish I had a better one. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't have a process that maybe I would have now. And because I'm not trained in theater or anything, it's not like I have this toolbox that I can just kind of I just kind of have to make it up. I don't know what I would do differently next time, but I would want to do something as even a warm up.
Something looked like cowboy hat on, and
honestly, I do think I wore like tight black pants.
Okay.
I think he ad-libbed a line about Wynonna's hot pants at some point. I don't know if it made it in, but because I wore those, I was like, oh, at least it's something. It's something like a little tougher that, it's not this. If I showed up like this, I'd be done. We wouldn't have episodes. I do think there was an element. Okay, actually, that is an answer. There is an element of putting on clothes that, at the very least, don't make you feel like a Disney princess when you're trying to play Wynonna. I didn't wear a skirt and high heels,
come in with the 6-shooters as a little, over the edge.
Yeah. I think I would next time come in with a little more edge. I tend to be a people pleaser, and I come in and want to make everybody feel comfortable. And Casey Wayland, our director, didn't need that. But he was great. And now that I know him, I would totally come in with more edge and just be like, maybe I would have a little more Wynonna salt. You don't have to. I just looked over because you're
just a big fan. So when I got invited to do the interviews with you guys, I was excited. And I didn't even know there was a Tubi special after the series on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Get to it.
So, I started last night. So I just want to know what happens with your daughter. I don't know if it's in the movie or if we're going to find out in Audible or. Spoiler alert.
Is this one of those things where I should be coy and be like, you'll have to tune in? Listen, it's not, the journey isn't over. There's a lot more story to tell, and that's part of it.
Do you think this may lead to another iteration of the TV show? Like if there's enough interest or enough stories more to tell?
I think.
Because I would love that myself.
I think any interest in the IP is great. So if this does well, if the Audible does well, that helps the series, or if the series does well, that helps they're all kind of interconnected. I think any attention to an IP, is good. And I think we have a bunch of cast and writers who would be very happy to come back home.
Us folks too.
And yeah.
Speaking about the writers and the crew in general, as well as the cast, what was your experience like getting to unite with the crew and really work on developing the story?
For Audible? Yeah. Well, it was really, so as I'm sure you know, Tim co-wrote one with Brendan York, and it was just so delicious to I didn't know Tim as a writer. I know he has tons of ideas. I know he writes comics with Bo, But to see him write for, and especially to write for my character, I was like, oh my God. And it was right. It was like, it felt right. It felt good. Nothing that Wynonna said felt weird or like written by somebody else. So he just slid right in. And then the fact of being all together, I think it just gave a sense of hope. Like when all feels lost, don't give up yet, because you never know. And I think that's the gift that Audible gave us was going like, oh my God, we could tell the story. If we can't tell it this way, there are other ways to tell it. And it was just such a like inspiring revelation. I don't know if that answers your question. 2 hours sleep.
What is something that you learned about Wynonna in doing Audible you had never considered before in any iteration of this story?
Wow. I think maybe, given that I've never thought about it before, it was, so this is kind of answering your question, kind of, I would get a C- on the essay if I was at school. I remember Wynonna listening to Doc tell a story. And I guess I'd never thought of Wynonna as a big listener. And you're nodding, so that was a good answer. So I'm doubling down on this. Yeah.
I'd love to hear more of this. That's really interesting.
No, but because I remember just reading it and being like, oh, she wasn't an amazing listener. She did have her little ADHD moments, but I've never had the pleasure of letting Wynonna give someone else the chance to tell their story, I guess. And that was really fun. It was fun to be the passenger in the car. A lot less pressure. Right, sorry. Hi. We're gonna switch table. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. This was a great table. Of course. How can I not be in this?
Thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you.